What's up, YouTube? On today's Alien Auto Adventure, we are cold as shit and working on
34
the
degrees.
97 S10 Blazer again. We're going to go ahead and get the hood taken off, get the valve covers pulled so that we can check all of the valves and rockers and everything, and then go from there and get the front accessory drive back together and try and make this run today. It's not the first will it run that we promised y'all, but we can't make it to that one at the moment, so we're doing this one right now.
You want to flip it over or take it all the way back? Take it all the way back. A little bit of salt later off here. I rounded up some.
Mice in here.
Huh?
So there has been mice in here.
So we need to take a look around.
Well, we need to get shot back. Just before I pull these valve covers, we need to vacuum some of this shit out.
Let me go grab that cord from the backyard.
It's running in my room. Go ahead and unplug that and bring it out here.
Is there any propane left?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted that turned on or not.
Before we go to digging too deep into this, in the top of that toolbox right over there, grab one of those PCV valves so I can stick it in this hole.
That toolbox?
Yep. If you can't find one in there, I know there's one in the bottom drawer. Right there.
No PCB valves. Oh yeah, right here, right here.
And you found spark plug.
Yep.
Yeah, at least putting that in there makes the hole go from that big to that big.
I agree.
But yeah, you can tell that there was,
Some turds.
yeah, some vacuum lines that we're going to have to replace, but that's alright, that should be about the size I've got sitting over there on the bench.
only thing I hate about these gloves.
Can't feel nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I usually don't wear gloves.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's getting to the point at work I've got to start wearing gloves.
Yep.
Now that I do this shit every day professionally. Okay, hook up the mouse sucker.
The Dumpy Suck 3000.
Pretty much just around this intake needs to be cleaned up before I go for anything. Alright guys, now on this will it run, keep in mind it's been a little over 2 years, 2.5 years since this motor has ran. But we're going to try and make it run today.
Is this air conditioner going to come loose?
Yep.
Okay. I'll start pulling the bracket. While you mess with that side.
Is
Now,
the tool? Oh, there
hang
we go.
on. Before I pull any of that, we can do something to see if there's anything wrong on that side. We can run a compression check on that side. If it's got good compression, that means none of the rockers are messed up. But since, you know what, go ahead, because since this side was all loose.
We need to check that
Yeah.
side. Yeah. I'm just gonna pull the bracket forward is what I was gonna do. Where's that table?
Inside, up against that big thing. In the bedroom. Alright, we'll be right back, guys. We're going to get some stuff resituated real quick where we got a little more room. Alright, guys, we're back. That shouldn't have to come off.
I couldn't get past it with the socket.
Oh.
So.
Oh, we knew that one wasn't going nowhere. That was torqued, unlike the
Everything
rockers.
else?
Someone gave that bolt all the ugga duggas.
How many ugga duggas? All of them.
Oh, you know what else I noticed that wasn't in there?
What?
Fan shroud.
It's back there.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Both parts in
So we have almost everything
it. I think we have everything.
except the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw it too, huh?
Custom spacer, which means that wasn't the right bolt for that.
Nope, it went somewhere else. We'll be finding the right bolt, I'm sure.
Presumptuous of you to assume I have all the right bolts like I have an entire S10 in my garage in parts.
Or 3.
I guess that's why I'm the S10 whisperer.
That's 10 guru.
You mad scientist. If something don't work, we'll make it work.
Got it. That should be far enough out of the way.
Yep. Okay, that coil will have to come off.
Yeah. I'm just moving some stuff out the way to get to it.
Oh, the other side of these valve covers look fucking brand new.
Well, they said it was a fresh build. Fresh-ish.
second. I'm gonna grab another table for us to set parts on.
Okay.
Setting everything on here, it's driver's side, passenger side. So that way we don't get too confused.
You confused?
Yeah, I know, I can do this shit in my sleep.
There you go.
PCV valve.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have two.
Apparently it does.
No,
That side's something else.
that is going to be confusing the fuck out of me. That's got to be vacuum for. Oh, I bet that's where that vacuum actuator that's sitting in there goes. Is right there. Because that's probably the vacuum for all your four-wheel drive and everything on this.
Okay. We need this right here. Right here.
Yes. Yes.
Pull that PCB. Yep.
Alright, hang on. Let
I'm
me
just
run the
loosening
mouse sucker over it
Okay.
before we loosen it. Because as soon as we loosen that and that breaks that silly, any debris and anything that's right there around it's going to fall down. Since this is supposed to be a fresh build, I'd rather keep it kind of fresh.
screwdriver. One of the long screwdrivers.
We need one of them little extensions that goes down real small.
Yeah. I think I got most of it.
Alright guys, and if y'all watched our last video, whenever we pulled this home, we went all the way to Tecumseh, Oklahoma.
Pot County.
And yeah, we rescued this thing from Pot County so that we can get it up and going again. So here we are now, the next day, which for y'all it'll be the next week. If y'all watched last week's video, then you already kind of know the trip that we took getting this back. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, because this will be part 2 of this little series. I'm sure we'll have a few more videos to come of what we're doing. Today we are mainly just trying to get tore into this to get everything put together correctly so that we can get it up and running.
Goal is to start it today.
Yep. Like I said, this is going to be our first Willet run. I know it's not the Willet run that we promised y'all, but
That's coming soon.
now that we're both working for the school, we'll be able to come up with the money to buy said project to get it up and running. And that's all we're waiting for, is to have the funds in our hands to go drop the money on it and get it running and drive it 20 miles back from its grave.
Feel free to donate if you feel the need.
Yeah, if y'all want to see us get it done quicker, then start donating. And we'll get something, or figure out how to get something set up on here to where y'all can start getting stuff donated for us. So good. And no Oklahoma Pot County rescue is complete without your dirt daubers. Hook this harness up.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep, there we go.
Hang on, don't touch nothing yet. Let me get y'all in here. This right here is why we have to check everything. That's not supposed to be like that. Those aren't supposed to be like that. Whoever put this motor together didn't quite know what they were doing. Alright, will you, in my toolbox in my truck is some bungee cords. Go grab a bungee so we can get this wiring loom up out of the way. Yeah, whenever y'all do these, guys, it is very, very important to make sure that everything as far as these are tightened down, because you have to get these down tight to where you have the proper torque on them, and then you have to set your valve lash and everything else. You want to make sure that that valve lash is set properly, or you'll end up with bent push rods and a bunch of other issues. They're in the little, they're in the container thing. Clear container, red lid. And then as you tighten these down, guys, you also want to make sure that you have some Loctite on these so that these don't back off like that. Yeah, that's why I said yesterday I had bungee cords. Now we can probably wrap one of them around it and then stick it to the antenna. But on that note, guys, we do not have any Loctite at the moment, so alright guys, we're back. We're gonna start getting the rocker arm nuts taken off and get some Loctite put on them. And then get them torqued down to spec between 18 and 22 foot-pounds. We're gonna go with 21 so that it's right in between. Nope. I'm doing them a certain way so that they'll go back on which ones they come off of.
Okay.
I know you don't technically have to do it like that, but it's... I just want to make sure everything's going back where it came off of.
I get it.
Because it was happy where it was, so I want to make sure it's happy again.
What we needed the other day.
Yeah, that's why I said I knew we had one somewhere.
It is not broke off. It's still there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just felt the whole time. When I looked
Oh,
down
yeah,
there,
you were looking at the...
at the bolt, head bolt.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fixing to say when I felt it yesterday, it felt like it was still on it.
That's good. Let's take a mess with right now.
Regular ratchet. Alright guys, we'll be back in just a minute. My battery is about to die, so we're going to get that changed out real quick and then we'll be back. We are probably going to have to run to the store here shortly and grab some Loctite so that way we can make sure that all of this is put back together properly. Because these were loose on this side. Every single one of these. You shouldn't be able to turn those like that. These should have Loctite on them to where they're not loosening back off as you're going down the road. So give us just a little bit, guys, and we will go get some Loctite and start getting these tightened down. Then we can see if this thing will run. We'll be back with y'all here in just a little bit. Alright guys, we're back. We're going to take our Loctite. Bit on each one of the rocker bolts or studs. And then we will go through and get all of these finger tight, and then we'll go back through and torque everything down. Like I said, we're going to get it to 20 foot-pounds. The torque spec says between 18 and 22. Sorry, we're going to go to 21 foot-pounds because we're using an extension. Whenever you use an extension on a torque wrench, it does drop the torque spec down just a bit. So that's why we are gonna do this the way we're doing it. And then once we go through and tighten all these down and torque them, we will turn the motor over just a little bit and then go through and re-torque everything to make sure that everything is torqued down properly so that we're not back in here doing this in 2 months. Alright guys, we're gonna time lapse this part so that way y'all aren't sitting here bored with all of the small stuff that we're doing after we get done putting all of these back on and torquing down the first time. When we go to turn the motor over and torque it the second time, it'll be at regular speed. Alright guys, we're back. We went through and torqued everything down once, turned the motor over.
We're fixing to turn the motor over.
Fixing to turn the motor over so that way we can go through and make sure everything's torqued down. I just have these last 3 real quick and then we'll go from there.
If you need gloves or some laying in the front seat, they'll get you.
Okay.
I just had that big in there.
it should be good just to turn it over.
This one.
Don't walk over here unless you want to be on camera.
No, I was just gonna see if you wanted me to go.
You're on
myself.
camera.
Sorry.
Alright guys, we're going to turn the motor over, make sure everything's good, and then we're going to go through and make sure everything's still torqued. Go ahead. Okay.
Okay. Hold that battery. I tighten it.
Oh. And actually, you really don't need to.
Well, that way we don't spark nothing. Hold on.
Yeah, so that I don't end up touching that up against something and
Again.
sparking it. Not the way I want to light up my life.
Especially at that time.
Alright guys, now what are the chances that I'm just that fucking good I tightened all of these by hand? Or with the ratchet first, and then went back and tried all of them, and every single one of them were torqued to 20 foot-pounds. My hand torque specs are good. Alright, now we just got to get the valve covers back on, and then start getting everything else put back together. So I'm gonna take y'all off the first person view and put y'all back up on the windshield, and then we'll do a little I guess montage of putting it back together. So we'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, my camera died, so we've got the valve covers back on, we've got the water pump on, we've got the AC compressor back on, we have the rotor cap back on, or distributor cap back on, and apparently the battery I just put in here is almost dead, so I'll let it run through a little bit and then I will change out the battery. I don't know why my camera just died, because it's eating batteries due to this cold weather, because it's still like 38 to 40 degrees out here right now, but we're car guys, we don't give a shit about the weather.
Check those 4 volts.
Hold. Torque. 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 Torque.
Okay. It's always good to have a second set of hands on it.
Now, hold up.
What do we look for?
There's a hose that goes right here. And this is part of why I said the water pump should have went on before the AC compressor.
Look at that thing down here.
Alright guys, we're going to get a little bit more of this slap back together real quick, and then we have to run up to the parts store and get a belt for it because we don't have the serpentine belt. So we'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Alright guys, we're back. We're getting everything finished up now. We got our new belt, got it put on. We have the distributor tightened down. We're starting to get the wires on. And then we've got to fix this one because it's a little ate up.
Once we know it runs, we'll buy the tune-up kit.
Yeah, once we know that it runs good and everything, we'll buy the complete set for it. We're just trying to make sure that it's going to run first before we dump too much money into it. You've actually got to move stuff around and look, Dustin. Not just stare at your phone while you're in the garage and we're not paying attention, please. Yep. And more rat turds.
Look in every drawer in my toolbox. There might be a roll. You never know. If not, go look in the toolbox on your dad's truck.
Oh, yeah. Both of them are supposed to be a PCV valve. is this one goes over to the airlocks. Alright guys, we're gonna finish getting this wrapped up and try and find some electrical tape so that I can get that spark plug wire fixed, and then we'll be back with you here shortly. Alright guys, we've got everything back together and everything. Now we're gonna try and see if it will start up for the first time in 2.5 years. Feed it.
I'm leaving the sensor for a second. Hold on a minute. Fan's hitting the shroud a little bit. There's plenty. I can see it pulling.
I'm saying back up in case it decides to backfire out the intake.
Let me fix this shroud real quick.
Since it just backfired, that doesn't sound right.
The shroud needs to be pushed over a little bit.
Alright guys, little update on the 95 Blazer. This is a 95, not a 97, we found out. We are having issues. The timing is off, so we're going to have to readjust the timing tomorrow. And we have another issue. Obviously that's not supposed to be sitting outside of it. And that's not supposed to look like that. So we're gonna have to get another fuel tank for it and another fuel pump, because the fuel pump that came out of it, wherever the hell I put it, anyways, the fuel pump is all rusted up and it's no bueno. The lines are clogged solid, so I think that's gonna pretty much do it for this round. Like I told y'all in the beginning, this is gonna be a multiple video series, so stay tuned for some more work on the 95 S10 Blazer. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's not supposed to look like that. And it's all plugged up. The fuel line's rusted off of it, so it wasn't getting any fuel to it. We think this may have been sitting longer than we were told. It's looking more like 5 or 6 years, not 2.5. So at this point, we're gonna call it a night, and we'll get back on it tomorrow and mess with it and see if we can make it run. But stay tuned next week for that video, and we'll see what we can do about getting this thing up and going, because it has potential. It wants to go, it just has issues. Yeah, I found it. But remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and we also have a Facebook page. And don't forget to check out our second channel. We don't have much content on there just yet, but we're getting there. And just remember guys, it ain't stupid if it works, and we're gonna make this thing work. So we'll catch y'all next time guys. Thanks for all the support.